Witness News presents Friday Night Football, sponsored by New Balance, Avon and South Windsor. When your feet feel good, your whole body feels good.
Hello and welcome to our playoff preview special edition. It's Friday Night Football. I'm Joe Zone. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll be taking a look at all the brackets from all four classes as we get set for the quarterfinals, and then we'll be joined, as we have for the last 16 years, by Ned Griffen from the Day of New London to help us break it down. First up tonight, a check on the biggest class in the state, that's Double L. The defending state champ here is Greenwich, and they're back in it, taking on Darien, the team they beat last year for the title. The number one seed is the unbeaten Newtown Nighthawks. Now here's a look at the Double L bracket. As we mentioned, Newtown is the top seed. They'll host NFA in the 4-5 game. Cheshire will go on the road to play Simsbury. That's the 4-5 game, a rematch of last year's Double L final. Darien and Greenwich go in the 3-6 game, and Southington hosts Ridgefield in the 2-7 matchup. So for the 16th season, we've brought in Ned Griffen from the Day of New London. Ned puts together the coaches poll. He's been doing that for the last 16 years for the Day of New London. It's been pretty consistent this year at the top. You've got Hand number one, St. Joe's number two, and not a lot of movement behind, and that's pretty much been the story this year.
Yeah, you know, Hand's been solid, or I should say better than solid all year. The only time they were really even challenged was the Shelton game. And St. Joe's has just been destroying everyone this year.
Well, let's start with Double L. Newtown 10-0, undefeated, the number one seed. That 1-8 game, against NFA. I don't know what you see there as NFA. That's going to be a battle.
Curious with that one because Newtown's a weird team offensively to me in that generally you can count on maybe 3 or 4 playmakers on a team, and offensively they're sort of like a collection. They don't have that one guy who's a real standout. They even platoon at quarterback. Just shift guys in and out. Defensively though, defensively they're really, really tough. Shelton found that out the hard way. NFA, it's almost amazing they're here, given that by their 5th game, they're already on their 3rd quarterback.
4-5 game, Simsbury, Cheshire. Simsbury 9-1, they're 1 loss. I called that the show-me game. Southington, they didn't win that game, but 4-5, and then the winner there plays the winner of Newtown NFA. Yeah,
that Simsbury-Southington game sort of surprised me because I've been touting behind the scenes Simsbury, just based on their body of work. That was a bit of an odd one. Cheshire has just seemed to me to have gotten better as the season's gone on. They had a very good game a few weeks ago against Sheehan, taking them down. And even yesterday, a 1-point loss to Southington. They go for 2 points late in the game, to end the game. Can't fault them for that.
Ridgefield to number 7. Now, Ridgefield had a big win early in the season, kind of shook things up there for a while. So that matchup, I think, is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that could be an interesting defensive war. Ridgefield, for the most part, outside of St. Joe's, Danbury, they haven't allowed very many points. Southington, really good defensively this year. Very strong against the run. Interesting thing about Southington is that midway through the season, they finally settled on a quarterback in Brady Lafferty. And that's finally brought the offense along a little bit. I should say brought the passing game along a little bit.
Darien, Greenwich, we've seen this before.
Yeah, for those of you who are not familiar with it. Curious after the way Darien got kicked around and run down by New Canaan on Thanksgiving, how they're going to react to that. But I would still like Darien to beat Greenwich again in that game.